POP Podcast. Pauli POP.
All right, everyone, welcome back. We're diving deep into the world of fan ownership in football this week, and this time it's about FC St. Pauli and their bold new venture.
Yeah, it's certainly an ambitious project.
They're trying to raise, get this, 30 million euros through a fan-owned cooperative.
It's an incredible undertaking, really.
That's a lot of euros.
Yeah.
So, before we get into the nitty-gritty, can you give us the lowdown on what this cooperative is all about? What makes it so unique, especially in the often commercially driven world of football?
Right. Well, see, what FC St. Pauli is doing, it's not just about the money. It's about shifting the power dynamic in football. This cooperative, it's called FCSP, and it's designed to give fans a real, tangible stake in the club.
Okay, so how does it actually work? Do fans, pool their money together?
Precisely. Fans can buy shares in the cooperative, and each share, it gives them a voice, a vote in how the club is run. And here's the crucial part. One member, one vote, no matter how many shares they hold.
Wow, that's a pretty radical departure from, how most clubs operate. So what are some of the things this cooperative will be able to, actually do? What are they hoping to achieve with these funds?
Well, their immediate focus is on the Millantor Stadium. They're aiming to acquire a majority stake, which essentially makes the fans the landlords. It's about securing their home ground.
That's huge. So they'd own the stadium.
That's the plan. But it doesn't stop there. The long-term vision is much broader. We're talking about investing in the youth academy, potentially even expanding the stadium down the line.
It's like they're building a club for the future, literally from the ground up. So it's about more than just signing a big name player or something.
Exactly. It's about creating a sustainable future for the club, one that is less reliant on the whims of wealthy investors or the often precarious nature of football finances.
Which makes sense, especially given St. Pauli's history. I mean, they've always been very vocal about their commitment to financial responsibility, but this takes it to a whole new level.
It does, and it'll be interesting to see if other clubs follow suit. This could be a real turning point in how football clubs are owned and operated.
Now, about this whole buying the stadium thing, didn't the fans already sort of pitch in for that once before? I feel like I remember something about that.
You're right, they did. Back in the early 2000s, they helped raise money to renovate the stadium. But this time, it's about actual ownership.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Imagine being a lifelong St. Pauli fan and suddenly you're part owner of the stadium. That's wild.
It's certainly a compelling proposition, and it speaks to the deep connection fans have with this club. But it's not just about nostalgia or sentimentality. This is a calculated risk.
A risk? In what sense?
Well, for any investment, there's always the question of return. And some fans are wondering if, investing in a football club, even one as unique as St. Pauli, is really a sound financial decision.
I see. So some fans are a little bit wary then.
Of course, there are always going to be skeptics. Some are concerned about the potential risks involved. Will this cooperative model really deliver on its promises? Can it truly compete in the cutthroat world of professional football? These are valid questions.
Yeah, I can see how some fans might be a little hesitant. But on the flip side, there's also a lot of excitement surrounding this, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's a real buzz among the fan base. For many, this is about more than just money. It's about taking back control, having a say in how their club is run. It's about being a part of something bigger than themselves.
That sense of community is really strong with St. Pauli. You can feel it, even from afar.
It's palpable. It's one of the things that makes this club so special.
Speaking of community, St. Pauli has a pretty incredible global fan base. Does this cooperative extend to them as well? Can fans from, say, Argentina or Japan get involved?
Absolutely. And that's one of the most intriguing aspects of this whole venture. They've made it clear that this is open to all St. Pauli fans, regardless of where they live. They've even got their Weltweit Freundschaft, worldwide friendship slogan.
So potentially, this could be a model for other clubs looking to engage with their international fan bases in a more meaningful way.
Exactly. Imagine a future where fans from all over the world can have a real voice in how their clubs are run. It's a tantalizing prospect. But of course, there are challenges.
Right. Like what are some of the hurdles they might face in trying to make this work on such a global scale?
Well, for one, there are the logistical challenges. How do you manage a cooperative with potentially thousands of members spread across different time zones and continents? It's a massive undertaking.
Yeah, and then there's the whole language barrier thing.
Precisely. And let's not forget about the regulatory hurdles. Different countries have different laws and regulations governing things like investments and cooperatives.
So while the idea of a global fan-owned football club is incredibly appealing, the reality of making it work is, well, pretty complicated.
To say the least. But FC St. Pauli has never been a club to shy away from a challenge. They're pioneers in many ways, so if any club can pull this off, it's them.
So from what you're saying, it seems like this cooperative model is about so much more than just raising capital. It's about redefining what it means to be a football fan.
Exactly. It's about giving fans a seat at the table, a voice in how their clubs are run, and a stake in their future.
It's about shifting the power dynamics of football.
Absolutely. It's a bold vision, and it'll be fascinating to see how it unfolds.
This is fascinating stuff, and it really gets to the heart of what makes football so unique. But I do want to dig a bit deeper into some of the concerns that have been raised, especially those from the fans themselves. I mean, handing over this much control, even to a well-intentioned cooperative, must come with some anxieties.
Oh, for sure, and rightfully so. One of the biggest concerns, and it's one we see pop up time and again with fan ownership models, is the question of transparency and accountability.
Yeah. How do you make sure that the cooperative, even with the best intentions, doesn't become, well, another layer of bureaucracy?
Exactly. And how do you prevent, say, a wealthy individual or a group with a specific agenda from swooping in and buying up a huge chunk of shares?
Right, because even with that one member, one vote system, if someone owns enough shares, they could still exert a lot of influence.
Precisely. So having those safeguards in place, really clear and robust legal frameworks to prevent things like hostile takeovers or actions that go against the cooperative's core principles, it's absolutely crucial.
So transparency and accountability are vital, but how do you actually achieve that in practice?
Well, for starters, clear and frequent communication with the members is key. Regular updates, town hall meetings, making financial information readily accessible. It's all about building that trust.
Right, so it's not just about having the structure in place. It's about fostering a culture of openness and dialogue.
100%. Now, shifting gears a bit, another major area where this cooperative could have a significant impact is on FC St. Pauli's Youth Academy.
Ah, yes. Their youth academy.
Yeah.
It's always been a cornerstone of the club's identity.
Exactly. And with the cooperative support, they could really take it to the next level. We're talking about world-class facilities, top-notch coaching, the works.
It's about investing in the future, not just the here and now.
Absolutely. Imagine a future where the majority of the first team is made up of players who've come up through the ranks, players who embody the club's ethos.
Now, that would be something special. And it's not just the youth academy. There's also been talk of, potentially expanding the Millern Tour at some point down the line.
Oh, yeah. That's been a long-standing dream for many fans, hasn't it? A bigger, better Millern Tour.
I know some fans might be, a little skeptical.
Yeah.
I mean, expanding a stadium is no small feat.
True, but with the financial stability that the cooperative could provide, it's no longer just a pipe dream. We're not talking about building a whole new stadium overnight, of course.
Right, more like a gradual expansion, maybe adding a few thousand seats here and there over time.
Exactly. And those incremental changes, they can make a big difference in the long run. And speaking of long-term vision, another area where the cooperative could play a role, and this one's a bit more, let's say unconventional, is in player acquisitions.
Really? Fan involvement in transfers, that seems almost unthinkable.
It does, doesn't it? But the idea isn't about fans directly dictating transfers or anything like that. It's more about creating a more collaborative approach.
So how would that work in practice?
Well, imagine a system where, let's say, the sporting director identifies a potential signing. Instead of just presenting it to the board, they also present it to the cooperative members, providing detailed analysis, scouting reports, maybe even arrange a QA session with the player.
So it's less about, veto power and more about ensuring that any new additions are a good fit, both in terms of talent and, character.
Precisely. It's about transparency, shared decision-making, making sure that the fans' voices are heard, even in those traditionally, let's say, exclusive areas of club management.
It all circles back to that phrase we keep hearing. Wir glauben an einen anderen Fußball.
Exactly. We believe in a different kind of football. It's not just a slogan, it's a philosophy, a way of life.
It really is remarkable when you think about it, to see a club so dedicated to doing things differently.
It's refreshing, isn't it? And, it speaks to something larger than just football. This whole idea of participatory models, of giving a voice back to the people. It's something that resonates across so many aspects of society today.
It's like they're challenging the status quo, not just in football, but in a way, in the wider world, too.
Absolutely. It's about reclaiming ownership, about proving that things can be done differently.
It's pretty inspiring stuff, really. But, even with all the goodwill and good intentions, there are always going to be challenges along the way.
Oh, of course. I mean, the big one, the elephant in the room, is financial sustainability. Can they really make this work in the long term? Can they attract enough investors, especially given that the potential returns might not be as high as some people might expect?
Right, it's a valid concern. And then there's the whole question of fan engagement. I mean, can they keep people invested literally and figuratively for the long haul, especially if, the team hits a rough patch?
That's going to be key. Maintaining that level of trust and enthusiasm, it's no easy task.
It's a real test case, this. A grand experiment in a different way of doing football. But if it works,
it could be transformative, not just for St. Pauli, but for the sport as a whole.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I guess the big question is, what does it all mean? What have we learned from all this?
Well, for me, it boils down to this. FC St. Pauli is challenging us to rethink our assumptions about how football clubs should operate. They're proving that another football is possible, one where fans aren't just customers, but active participants in shaping the future of their club.
It's about community, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
About shared ownership and collective action. It's about remembering that at its heart, football is a game, and games are supposed to be fun, enjoyable.
Exactly. And that's something worth fighting for, don't you think?
I think so.
Sure.
So as we sign off, I want to leave you all with this thought. If FC St. Pauli can make this work, if they can truly create a club that is owned and run by its fans, what's to stop other clubs from following suit? This is just the beginning of a much larger movement, a movement that could change the face of football as we know it. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. Until next time.
Up.